Hi, welcome to Julia Ridgmont Unscripted, the show where I show my readers the inside scoop about my projects and also the not so glamorous life of a writer. Today I'm talking about accountability, and you've heard me mention it briefly before, but I want to expand on that a little bit because this is one of the reasons that I decided to make these videos was to hold myself accountable because writers who want to keep themselves in the public eye need to produce a lot of books. That's just the way the business is going these days, and you've got to keep up with it if you want to become a serious writer. So, it's important to get those word counts in, and that's what I'm doing with these posts is holding myself accountable so that I know I'm on the right track. Yesterday I wanted to write and work on the story of The Trouble with Lucy from the Bells of Wyoming series, and unfortunately life just got in the way. It was a crazy day and I didn't get a single word down, and I'm kind of disappointed about that. So today is a new day. I'm going to try it again. I have the ideas in my head. I know what I want to write. I'm going to get it done. I also wanted to share with you just a little bit about how Lucy's character came about in my head, because she is the one, even though this is a multi-author project, The Bells of Wyoming, she's the one who, I'm the one who came up with her character. So, as I was writing Natalie's surprise engagement last year, I needed an antagonist that was like, not the main one, but a secondary one, who could foil Drew and Natalie's plans. As you might recall, that Drew stepped in as the stand-in groom for Natalie when she was ready to announce her engagement, and then her boyfriend Walt just suddenly broke it off. And Drew stepped in at the last moment to save her reputation and to help her out. She was trying to get a job at the newspaper where her father worked. So she needed to have someone to be there with her and help her be like a rock in the community and just show good standing and steadiness. And so I also needed someone to kind of foil those plans, or at least try to. And also another little plot issue with that story was that the bells, the special bells that are admired by the town and used at Christmas time to celebrate, they went missing, and Natalie and Drew decided to find out who took them. So that was their main goal. And again, Lucy was trying to foil that a little bit. So here's the part in my story where she first showed up. And Natalie's surprise engagement is not on paperback, so I just printed it out. This is chapter 5, the second scene at the very beginning. So I'm just going to read it to you really quick. Over the next few hours, Natalie and Drew interviewed many of the townspeople, including Pastor Elkins, Mr. and Mrs. Stewart, Mr. Reynolds at the bank, Paps Johnson at the livery, Mr. McCready at the telegraph office, and Joseph Shields at the cafe. None of them seemed to know what could have happened to the bells. In fact, the only person in town who even attempted to make sense of the mystery was the town gossip, Lucy May Jackson. The overeager woman twisted her face up and said in a syrupy voice, "I'll bet the person who took those bells was that no-good Mr. Turnpike. His name may as well be Turncoat." She sniffed as if the mere mention of the rancher was more than she could bear. Natalie didn't understand the strange rivalry those two had, but it had been going on for several years. The old maid had to be in her 30s by now, and it seemed the only thing she found pleasure in was disparaging others with her snide remarks. And these words were the first thing that came to my mind, and I just typed them as they came. And I didn't know anything about Mr. Turnpike. I had no clue who he was. So now that it's time to write The Trouble with Lucy, I am trying to figure out who Mr. Turnpike is. I do know a little bit more about him now because I have put this book up on Amazon for pre-order, and you can read the blurb there to learn more about Lucy's backstory. And I think that will be helpful when you read the actual story, because I'm not going to touch on that too much. I want to actually get to the action that's happening now. So It's really important to know that backstory though, and I had to figure out who Mr. Turnpike was. And I also figured out that he had a brother, Joel, and so I think it's going to be fun to see the interaction between these three characters, especially now that John Turnpike is a widower. His wife died, leaving him 4 children, and he's available again. So I just want to leave that with you and also ask you, do you prefer to read ebooks or paperbacks? Leave a comment below and or any questions you might have, and I'll try to answer them. And I just want to leave that with you and say I'm glad that you're watching, and we'll see you next time. Bye.